A sad reality. Trump's America has concentration camps where refugees are being held in awful, horrible, squalid conditions. But what you might not know is that Justin Trudeau's Liberal Party right here in Canada are enabling and legitimizing these very camps. Hey everybody, how's it going? Thanks for stopping by. Guys, this is going to be a tough video to talk about because we're talking about some real awful stuff. It's the sort of thing that's controversial. It's the very reason why Patreon exists for creators, if I'm being honest. Because it's the sort of video that advertisers are going to run away from. We have to talk about the concentration camps. Not so much the camps, but Canada's sort of policy indifference to those camps. As we know, Ocasio-Cortez and others have blown the doors wide open on these camps, showing us inside that they are awful, awful places. People are being locked up, children are being separated from their parents, the food and water issues in these places, the crowding issues in these places, the hygiene issues in these places broadly defined is awful, and there's no other word to describe it academically and just in a real common sense way than concentration camps. Simple as that. I'm not looking to have that debate here and now because other people who have much more experience on the ground and theoretically to the question of concentration camps can do that. I want to focus in on Canada's role in all of this. And of course, Canada has no direct role in Trump's decision to build concentration camps. But Canada has a very, very strong indirect role in all of this. Because of one policy above all, the Safe Third Country Agreement. Now, what the Safe Third Country Agreement is in basic terms is an agreement between any two countries, in this case between Canada and the United States, that they recognize one another as safe for refugees. And therefore, when a refugee from a country that's neither Canada or the United States crosses into one of those two countries from the other country, then that person will sort of be held to a higher level of scrutiny because they had already found a safe country to land in as a refugee. So this is a little complicated. But for instance, if you're from Mexico or Honduras or El Salvador and you cross into the United States and then from there come to Canada, Canada will say, look, you were a refugee claimant and you found your way into a safe country like the United States, and therefore the Safe Third Country Agreement will sort of limit your ability to get refugee status in Canada. Now there are exceptions, of course, and there are limitations to this agreement, but basically the principle is Canada and the United States say to themselves, to each other, and therefore to the world, that we recognize one another as a safe place for refugees. Refugees might not always get their claim accepted, but when they are there, they will be treated fairly and with dignity and with respect and with safety. That's the minimum standards of the Safe Third Country Agreement. And this is not an agreement Canada makes broadly. In fact, as it stands, there is no other country in the world Canada recognizes under this deal but the United States. No other country. We recognize officially, this government and the previous government as well, they recognize the United States as safe for refugees. So Canada, this country that puts so much of its value in the world about promoting the values of gender equality and human rights and tolerance and diversity and multiculturalism and all of these things. And when the country that wanted to look like it was welcoming people from all over the world, even when those people were coming as refugees, we in our policy say Trump's America, of all places, is a safe place for refugees to be. But we know that's wrong. We've known that's been wrong for a long time. But with these camps and actually getting a sense for how they are on the inside, but also the process of children being ripped away from their parents, we know the United States is not a safe country for refugees. It's not a safe country in refugees in the mechanics of their camps and their policies, nor is it a safe country in terms of how refugees are talked about by the president and by many elected officials within his party especially. We know it's not safe. And so Canada, in keeping that Safe Third Country Agreement, is legitimizing Trump's actions. There's no other way to put it. As long as Justin Trudeau and his Liberal Party, who again have a majority in the House of Commons and therefore can change this policy, but they would find support from the NDP to change it. They could get multiple parties to support it. Conservatives likely wouldn't, of course. As long as this government does this, and they have the power to change it, Justin Trudeau is saying to Trump, and he's saying to the United States, and he's saying to the world, what Trump is doing, I can cry crocodile tears about it, but it doesn't make the U.S. unsafe for refugees. Concentration camps are still safe in Justin Trudeau's view and in the Liberal Party's view. And there are alternatives. The NDP has been talking about this for years, to remove the safe third country designation from the United States. Because as long as Trump is president, and as long as his policies are being implemented as they are, the U.S. isn't safe for refugees. And maybe one day they could be safe for refugees. Maybe they could be. But right now they're not. And so any reasonable Canadian government that cares about refugees and human rights and dignity cannot recognize Trump's America through the Safe Third Country Agreement. So that's how we're legitimizing this, folks. Justin Trudeau has a choice. He just has to say that the Safe Third Country Agreement is suspended. We do not recognize the United States as a safe place for refugees to be. Because there are child concentration camps, there are general concentration camps. People are being ripped away from their families. People are being forced to drink water out of the toilets in some cases. Food good food access is a regular, occurrence, or lack of access is a regular occurrence. There are issues of harassment, by guards, likely due to high concentrations of people. There are probably harassments between detainees. This is all systematic, and it's dehumanizing. And so while, of course, Justin Trudeau can't tell Donald Trump, he can't make Donald Trump shut down the camps, as much as we would hope that Canada could compel our allies to do so. What he can do is he can change how Canada legitimizes these policies. And that's by suspending the Safe Third Country Agreement. Because until he does, anytime a Liberal in Canada, a Liberal supporter, or a Liberal member of Parliament, or what have you, a Liberal Party member, says, they feel so bad for how Trump is treating refugees. Well, until Justin Trudeau suspends the Safe Third Country Agreement, that is cynical, disingenuous posturing. Because as long as we allow that agreement to stand, the main thing we're saying, our words might be different, but the main thing we're saying with our deeds is, Trump, you keep on trumping on. You keep on trumping on with your child refugee camps. Because that's safe. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's not an enjoyable topic, of course, but if you found this video helpful or interesting or provocative, please like, comment, and subscribe. Doing so helps me to spread the message, to let people know that, as bad as Trump is, people legitimize his actions, and in so doing, make it easier for Trump to continue and intensify those actions. And even nominal progressives like Justin Trudeau are doing this. And people need to know about how Canada, with this global image, is carrying water for Trump's hateful and dangerous policies. And if you can, I would really appreciate your support on Patreon. Look, that support matters at all times. Supporting me there helps me to improve the quality and quantity of content on this channel. But if I'm being honest, it's with these videos especially that progressive, left-leaning creators need support on venues like Patreon. Because these videos need to be made. They're not being talked about in mainstream media, at least not systematically, at least not to the extent that they need to be. And so, with YouTube demonetizing videos that are controversial like this, creators like me need support so that we can make these videos and get them out to the people and let folks know that there is an alternative to Trudeau's sort of hand-wringing about how what Trump's doing is bad, but there's nothing Canada can do to denounce it in practical terms. When there 100% is. So guys, I'll see you in the next video. Hopefully it'll be a bit of a brighter one. Happy Canada Day to everybody who celebrated, and happy 4th of July for those in the United States who are eagerly awaiting the holiday.